This bed has already got a top irrigation line set on it. So all I need to do is find some appropriate emitters. I am going to sort through some of this stuff because my conclusion is some of the stuff is junk. And I don't want junk. Sometimes when you're doing projects, stuff gets sort of distributed. Very, very annoying indeed. But I found it. So life is good. Actually going to have to figure out what happened to my spare ones because I'm a little shorter than I had thought I was in terms of these caps. Let's try and be super careful with that box because if it flips over, it's a heck of a mess to clean up. So these little weird rubber caps that cover any outflow area that is not being used on this distribution hub. And you just put that cap on there and it keeps the water from coming out where you don't want it to come out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counted wrong. Okay. I see we're missing a sieve on one of those. That's not good. Let me see if I can steal. They have these things have weird little sievey sort of things that keep any kind of debris from going down into the individual emitter lines. And I can see there's one missing over here. That is not cool. And that one's not going to come out. Let me see if I have any spares. I don't know if I do. Do. Don't see any. No, I don't see any. I know that I have had to buy them before because one of the set of distribution hubs that I bought didn't come with any of the interior gear, and I was just like, seriously? This is like a doorknob rest or something. I mean, it's just like a doorstop. It's useless. Well, I won't come out either. Thought I might steal one from one that I wasn't using, but that is not the case. So what I'm going to do, and I see there's a couple missing here. That's weird. I'm usually really careful about that. More drama. Okay, well, I'll carve up the ones that are not being used because it doesn't make sense to leave that open. Put this back in, which has a screen on it. And the lid, I can hear the irrigation running. I don't know where it's running. Let me see if it's 11 o'clock. I'm not sure. So I can't run the irrigation yet. So what I'm going to do is I have water in that tank over there. That is what we call God's water. Free water. It's rained. And I'm going to bring over a watering can and get some of this watered with free water. If you have never been with us for any length of time, you might not know that significant portions of northern Arizona do not have normal water service. We're on what they call water haul, which means that you either haul water yourself from a well source or you pay someone to haul water for you. In our case, right now, we are paying someone to haul water for us. And he brings in 2,000 gallons at a time. And we store it in big tanks up top of the hill. And this won't hurt anything. This is just water. Literally, it's rainwater. It rolls off the roof in the studio. And this means that there'll be a little bit more moisture in here. We did try this out the other day to make sure it worked. I could go ahead and open that valve there. It almost looked like it had leaked. So I don't know whether it was accidentally turned on or whether that moisture just stayed. Because right now it's running bed 7. This is bed 9. So if somehow this accidentally got scheduled in, I don't think I did, but I could have, then it'll just turn on when it gets to be the right time. And if not, then I will change the programming later. But right now, we're just going to cheat. Cheat to win, cheat to win. Now this has goat manure on it. I need to irrigate, blah. I need to fertilize all the beds with some fertilizer. Getting chewed on, feels like a thrip. There we go, starting to get a little moisture. It always cracks me up when I watch people water, because so many people, well, that would be enough. They would think that that was enough water. And I happen to know from experience that if I were to go down half an inch below the surface here, there would be no sign whatsoever that I had ever watered. None. Because it takes quite a bit of water before it sinks in well enough and starts to rehydrate the individual very dry little lumps of dirt. So, yeah, it always cracks me up watching people water. There's a couple of homesteaders that drive me crazy that way. I don't know how they ever get it. Well, I know how they get things out of their garden there. They actually get rain. But when they don't get rain, they're in real trouble, and they don't seem to get it. And I find that interesting. Because, you'd think you'd learn. But some people learn really slow. Unfortunately, because we're in a society that has not just completely come apart at this point, they have that option of not learning as slow as quickly as they should. But boy, there's a lot of people out there that will be in serious difficulty if they are ever put on the spot and have to actually water the correct amount and stuff like that. Because, we've got a whole bunch of weird weather going on right now. And they're making some guesses as to what the weather's going to do this summer. They're thinking it's going to switch from El Nino to a La Nina. And each of those patterns changes the weather. They're concerned that we might have a very violent hurricane season this year, because it looks like the way the highs and lows and all that kind of stuff are going to set up in the Atlantic is going to push the storms straight into the United States. So a bunch of the major forecasting programs are saying it's going to be a big mess this summer. And I haven't even really seen much of a guess as to what it's going to do here. Last time I saw, they were like, we don't know if it's going to be drier or wetter or what it's going to be. So it will be whatever it is, obviously. But we're trying to think ahead a little bit on some of these things and see what we can do to improve our rain catchment. I figure every gallon of water that we don't have to buy is a good gallon of water. And there's nothing wrong with this water. It's rainwater. The cool part about rainwater is that it has low mineral content, which for us is a big boon because our ground naturally has such high mineral content. And even though these are raised beds, which have been very heavily augmented with fertilizer and compost and purchased soil and, the whole 9 yards. Some of this is actually also, some of it's goat manure, but some of it is actually also from one of the flower pots. I decided that I had some flower pots sitting here that didn't make sense to have them sitting here. So I just simply dumped them in the bed. It's just good quality soil, so, and the flower pots have been used for veggies anyway. So I think that's it for now. I'm going to check back later and see. Let me see where the irrigation system is. Now I think it's probably still on bed 7. No, just started bed 8. Okay, so it's water. The reason I can see really easily on bed 8 is because it puts water into our bird bath here, and keeps the bird bath full of water at all times, which is really important for the birds around here. So, and that will overflow and water the daffodils that are over there. It'll also water through in here. So, yeah. So soon I'll know whether this is hooked up or not. And if it's not, we'll hook it up and we'll just put it on. But meanwhile, it got about, let's see, there's a pea that's sitting here that somehow didn't get covered quickly. Let's see, each of those figured 5 gallons per load, so it was a little short today, so probably only about 8 gallons. But that's 8 gallons of water that I didn't have to pay for. That is currently on the bed. So that's a good start. And I can see we have some weeds coming up. And of course, the minute this gets watered, all kinds of other things will come up. There's dill over there. I thought there had been some dill over here, but I'm just maybe remembering last year. And sometimes we get dill right at the edge of the bed here. But so far all we have there is oregano. And I want to harvest a whole stack of the oregano and freeze dry it. Because I have harvested and dehydrated herbs before, and it worked really well. But the freeze drying should be even better because it will, dehydrating can sometimes drive off a lot of the essential oils. And I really don't want to do that because that's what gives your herbs their oomph when you go to cook with them. So, yeah. Looking forward to taking advantage of my insane, out-of-control oregano. And the plants are looking really good right now, so that means the leaves are in excellent quality. It'll be a little tedious to strip the leaves and stuff like that, but I think it'll be more than worth it. I'm sure that the professional growers don't strip the leaves, that they probably grind up everything, including the stems. But I would prefer to spend the time stripping leaves. I've done that before with oregano, but we've just recently finished all of that. There's a chicken chili recipe that we have that uses that. So we used up the last of that, and when Henry asked me for some more the other day, I had to run out and grab some fresh oregano, which is fine. I don't mind. It's nice that I know I have it. But I want to freeze dry oregano and peppermint, and what else did I have in here that I wanted to do? I'll have to think about, chives. Chives. I have 2 flower pots that are full of chives, and I want to get rid of one of them, so I figure I'd take the whole other one and turn it into freeze-dried chives. So, because that's always a good thing to have on hand. And I've done it before as dehydrated, and it worked fine. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because obviously we have a ton going on. I still need to mulch these guys. In fact, I might do that right now. It's not too hot this morning, and I've got some time before lunch, so let's do that. Let's do that. I've got the mulch bag sitting there, and I moved them over so that they wouldn't be in the way here. And I'm going to go ahead and mulch the raspberries. I am pretty pleased with them. I went over them again last night to see how they were doing, because they obviously did sustain a little bit of damage from the move. Almost impossible not to break something. But in general, they're doing really well. So, figure give some of my flowers some mulch too. Won't hurt anything. And the nice thing, as I mentioned before, about this particular type of irrigation line, the copper-colored stuff, it's a product made by Rain Drip. They're not sponsors. They're just people we use lots of stuff from. And we've been very pleased with it. Really have been. Does a great job. And we don't have to worry about whether we bury it or not. A lot of the other things, the emitters will clog up if we bury them. And I like the idea that we can just decide to, pour mulch on the bed. Not have to go crazy trying to make sure we don't bury anything and blah, blah, blah. So, just makes it a lot faster instead of going crazy all the time, being fussy about things. And we used it last year, and we were very pleased with it. So, come on, dirt. It's way mulch. Noisy. Yeah, and this will help to preserve the moisture in the beds. This is never a bad thing. I have two bags that I plan to use over here. These beds get watered every other day, so they get a good soaking every other day. So it's more like a normal, I don't want to say normal, but nothing's normal about Arizona. A normal, like, you got rained on, you didn't get rained on sort of situation. Yeah, BT, Bacillus thuringiensis. There's a bunch of different varieties of it, and you can use it on tomatoes, you can use it on all kinds of things. But that does a great job. It sits there on the leaves, and when something eats it, it gets into their gut and it kills them. That is considered an incredibly safe thing. All right. That's pretty decent. That's much better. I'm going to sprinkle the last of the stuff that's in here, but I do have to be careful to make sure I don't bury my irrigation lines. Is it next door or this one? I'll have to go look. The joys of no directional hearing. It makes it hard to be sure where the noise is coming from. Whee! That's next door. So it's doing number 10 right now. It's right there. And then it will do number 11. And then I will change the irrigation and have it run in number 9, which is the one I just planted with peas. More weeds. Trying to get all the grass out from in between the bachelor buttons that are down here. That way they won't steal the water. I don't usually water these plants here. Sometimes, as the ground starts to really dry out, if we don't get any rain, I will water the clusters. So like there's a clump here, and I'll just go by every couple of days and give them a little extra so that they can continue to bloom, because I do love bachelor buttons. So, stuff done. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because obviously we're going to be doing tons more. Not as much in the garden this year as we've done in previous years, and part of that will depend on our schedule. The asparagus, oh, I could take up some. The asparagus bed is doing really well. I'm harvesting almost every day. 6 or 8 asparagus, sometimes some days more. I harvested last night, and I can see several more that I could harvest now if I wanted to. So very happy with that, very happy. I think the damp winter helped a little bit with that. And basically we'll harvest that until we have to go to our event, and then we'll stop harvesting. So, until next time, bye. Oh, and be sure to keep brainstorming, because obviously we are.